I thought my family had gone on a simple vacation to the coast. When I walked into my grandmother's house, I found a handwritten note on the kitchen table. It said, "Deal with this mess yourself." At first, I thought they were joking. Then I found my grandmother lying on the bedroom floor. She was barely breathing. There was no food beside her, no water. Her lips were dry. Her hands were freezing. I grabbed my phone to call an ambulance, but just before I pressed the number, her fingers suddenly wrapped around my wrist. She looked straight into my eyes and whispered, "Do not call the doctors yet. Look under the dresser. When you see what is hidden there, you will understand why they will soon beg me for mercy." I froze. I had no idea that one old wooden dresser was about to destroy my entire family. Stay until the end, because what I found underneath changed every relationship forever. I had always believed my family was close. We celebrated birthdays together. We spent holidays together. Everyone praised my parents for taking care of Grandma after Grandpa passed away. She was 90 years old. Her memory was still sharp. Her body was weak. She depended on everyone around her. A week earlier, my parents called and told me they were taking a short trip to the coast with my brother and his wife. They said Grandma would be fine because they had prepared everything. Since I lived in another city, I trusted them. Then, on Saturday morning, my phone rang. It was my neighbor. He said nobody had seen Grandma outside for 2 days. The curtains had not moved. The mailbox was overflowing. Something felt wrong. I immediately drove 4 hours without stopping. When I arrived, the front door was unlocked. The house was silent. On the kitchen table was the note. "Deal with this mess yourself." I laughed nervously. Then I started calling for Grandma. No answer. I searched every room until I reached her bedroom. She was lying beside the bed. She looked painfully thin. An empty glass sat nearby. There was no water inside. The refrigerator was almost empty. Only spoiled leftovers remained. I could not believe what I was seeing. I reached for my phone. That was when she stopped me. Her whisper was barely audible. "Look under the dresser." I hesitated. She squeezed my hand with surprising strength. "Please, trust me." I moved the heavy dresser inch by inch. Underneath was an old metal box covered with dust. Inside were dozens of envelopes, bank papers, property deeds, medical reports, and a thick diary. The diary revealed everything. For years, Grandma had secretly documented every dollar she gave the family. She had written down every promise they made, every lie, every excuse, every argument. She even kept copies of text messages, photos, voice recordings stored on small memory cards. I spent hours reading. Then I found the truth. My parents had convinced everyone that Grandma was becoming confused. They used that excuse to control her money. They sold pieces of her land without telling relatives. They withdrew money from her accounts. Whenever she questioned them, they claimed she had forgotten. She knew exactly what they were doing. That was why she secretly collected evidence. The final page of the diary shocked me the most. It said, "If you are reading this, they finally abandoned me. Now they believe nobody will believe an old woman. But the truth is waiting beneath this dresser. I immediately called emergency services. Grandma was taken to the hospital. Doctors said another day without proper food and water could have cost her life. While she recovered, I contacted an attorney. Every document was carefully reviewed. Every recording was copied. The evidence was overwhelming. Within days, investigators began asking difficult questions. My parents suddenly ended their vacation. Instead of asking how Grandma was feeling, they demanded to know whether I had entered her bedroom. They wanted to know if I had moved the dresser. That confirmed everything. The secret was never about the furniture. It was about the evidence hidden underneath. Soon, relatives who had ignored Grandma started calling. Some apologized. Others denied knowing anything. But the documents spoke louder than words. Money could be replaced. Trust could not. Grandma quietly smiled when she saw everyone finally learning the truth. She told me she never wanted revenge. She only wanted the lies to end. Months later, the stolen assets were returned through legal action. Grandma moved into a peaceful, assisted living home where she was surrounded by people who genuinely cared for her. I visited every weekend. We laughed more than we had in years. One afternoon, she looked at me and said, "Sometimes, the strongest people are the ones everyone thinks are powerless." I never forgot those words. People often believe the loudest voices, but the truth usually waits in silence. One forgotten note, one hidden box, one brave decision was enough to expose years of betrayal. My family thought they had abandoned an old woman who had no power left. Instead, they left behind the very evidence that destroyed every lie they had built. Grandma did not win because she was stronger. She won because the truth never gave up. If you ever have someone who depends on you, remember this story. Kindness is remembered. Neglect is remembered even longer. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I like this video. Share it with your friends and family. Leave your thoughts in the comments, because your support helps us bring more powerful stories like this.